Hello folks, and welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. We are in IRC round 10 French GP. This race did take part last week, but I decided to upload it a week later because I did not get time to make the video. I hope I can do justice to this race. It was a pretty good race, as you will see later on. So, as you can see, we did do a couple of laps on the softs, which is mostly just get used to the track, just to pick out the markers, because I did want to set my lap on the mediums. And over here, going into my first lap, coming into T1, trying to get a good exit off T2, but I missed the apex completely, and I knew this wasn't a good lap. Immediately looking at the delta, and I decided to abort. And I did carry enough fuel for 2 laps, and here I begin my final lap, which was my final time on the quali session. So going into T1, trying to hook it in the curb in T2, trying to go as wide as I can without losing the car. Extremely important to take that inside curve because it does give you around 2/10 over this section. Trying to carry as much countering speed as possible. Over here, trying to go wide, staying in second for a bit extra rotation. Over here, going wide. Could have gone a bit wider to get a good exit onto the straight. 7th gear, DRS wide open. 8th gear. My setup was a bit higher on downforce I think compared to the other people, but I did feel the stability it gave was what I wanted. Trying to braking late, taking a bit of the curve to open up into the exit, taking plenty of that curve on the left side because it does shave off those precious tenths. The game did say I did set 2 purple sectors. I'm not sure if that is correct. Over here, there's pretty much a flat-out right-hander, especially compared to the last game. Over here, I preferred an approach where I did not use engine braking much. Then I broke hard and accelerated very aggressively out. Over here, getting the late apex, hitting that apex, getting on the throttle much earlier. Over here, sticking to the inside over this corner. Over here, I did want to stick to the inside, but the mediums did not have the grip. Same here as the beginning of sector 3. Get that apex and get on the power early. And that was my quali lap in France. At the time when I crossed the line, was good enough a P4, which is I think the highest. I was the highest medium rider at that point, but MMS does beat me by 200ths of a second to the highest position of the mediums. So as you can see, we have opted for the medium hard strategy, and you can see I really go down a bit on low on fuel because tire wear was extremely touch and go here, and I wanted every advantage possible on that particular front. On the start, we get an absolute monster facade which is on par with even the soft runners ahead, as we managed to jump the AlphaTauri ahead, who was in the start, getting the inside line, braking early to account for the inside, and we managed to get past ahead of the AlphaTauri and the medium runner who was ahead of me. And I believe he did have a spin in T2, quite unfortunate for him, but he does come back very strong in the race. And right now, I knew that the soft runners would be extremely quick in these opening laps, and my job was to stick with them and make sure that I had that extremely crucial DRS to defend from the people behind me on the mediums. As although this is a pretty difficult track to overtake, that DRS is quite powerful on the Mistral straight, as we have a VSC on the second lap of the race. I believe the VSC was caused by my teammate. He did have a bit of incident-filled race, but in the end of lap 2, we get back to racing, and we can see the Mercedes ahead on the softs did manage to catch the guys behind a bit off guard, but we managed to stick with the soft runners. We are still quite behind them, and we have the racing point ahead. But coming onto the straight in lap 5, we fall under attack from the Alfa Romeo behind us, and he is side by side with us, and we hold the outside on the chicane, but we get the inside onto the next turn, and we manage to defend that position. But now we are under attack by both the Alphas, the Alfa Romeo and the AlphaTauri, as you can see in my mirrors. But we managed to keep that position, and we do see the AlphaTauri behind, being really feisty and trying to get that position from the Alfa Romeo. But I think the positions remain, as we see the first of the soft runners pitting, as the softs do degrade extremely quickly here. And in lap 6, we have the next soft runner who has pitted. But interestingly, we have we also have the McLaren pitting. But interestingly, the Mercedes ahead does seem to be staying out. Now coming into lap 7, the softs are really struggling right now. And with the DRS and the much better exit I got due to the better grip of the medium tires, we easily get past on the straight. And in my mind, I knew I had around 3 laps left for my pit stop, and I knew this was the time I needed to build the gap ahead of the pit stop to stay out of DRS. And we do manage to get out of DRS, and at the end of lap 10, we decide to box. And whoops, by a fraction of a couple of kilometers, we miss out on the speed limit and end up getting a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. But exiting the pit lane, we actually managed to overcut one of the soft runners who are now committed to a 2-stop on a soft medium strategy. And he does end up hitting me a bit, and I think my tires were under a lot of load, so I just lose the car completely. But he doesn't have DRS with the car ahead, and we managed to easily get back that position. Quite interestingly, given that I was still on hards that were, I believe, not up to the temperature yet. Braking much later. I squeezed him a bit on that inside there, but we managed to get the position back as the Mercedes, who's now on a soft hard strategy, does manage to get past the Racing Point as well. Now, in the beginning of lap 11, we quite easily get past it, I know. Although I'm a bit low on overtake, I did feel we could still stay ahead, as we see that the AlphaTauri does in fact overcut me because of those particular battles. Now, at the end of lap 12, my mind was that, okay, I did feel that I had the pace of the AlphaTauri, and I knew that the race isn't decided at this point, and I just wanted to stick with him and conserve my tires and make a move towards the very end of the race where it would really count. And I think I was also ahead on penalties at this point, although I did have that 5 second to worry about. Now, coming into lap 13, the man in pole position, who was in pole position as a retirement, he crashes out in that flat out right-hander, and that brings out the safety car. Now, I could have in hindsight pitted for the mediums, but however, I had that 5 second, I would lose 5 seconds, which would probably put me at the back of a DRS pack, and I was like in complete two minds whether I should pit or not right now. But I also decided that that 5 second was too costly for me, and being at the back of a DRS train was definitely not ideal for me, especially given that I had a 5 second, and I think I did also have a 3 second at this point. So I had net 8 second penalties, and the people on the hards, who were on the hards, who started the race on the hards, many of them who started from the back of the grid, actually managed to get a really good overcut on us because of that particular safety car. Coming into lap 16, my tires are not up to temperature, and the safety car really comes in at a very awkward time for me, because I thought I would get one more lap to heat up the tires, and this means that I'm immediately under attack from the medium runners behind. I think nearly everyone behind me was on the mediums, while I was on the hards, which were not up to temperature. And coming into I did manage to hold the hards behind me for a lap, but coming into this corner, he just gets incredible traction on me. And with the hards, I'm not able to, I have to be more conservative with my lines, not more aggressive with my lines to keep up with that same pace. You can see just how much more grip has he's able to stick to the line, while I have to feel out my tires much more, as it just seems to be understeering so much. But even then, I knew that it was only a matter of time he got ahead, and I knew that I just had to stick with him, and I knew the tire advantage would still come back to me, although I was having slightly worn out mediums. But okay, I have no idea what happened there, because apparently he did have some issue with his game, which caused him to glitch out. Now in lap 20, coming into the chicane, the AlphaTauri ahead, with whom we were battling before the safety car, does in fact get past. He did not have that 5 second, which I think gave him that opportunity to pit for the mediums, and he does get past me. But as you can see, he's low on overtake. I'm not doing that well on the overtake front myself, but we are able to keep up with him. But coming to lap 21, I had that half spin, and that subconsciously I ended up using more overtake than required, and that did upset the balance of ERS I kept. And coming to lap 25, the Red Bull behind me gets the move done on me. I tried my best to defend on the outside, sorry, on the inside of that particular chicane, but with the hearts in that particular line, there was no way I was going to make a strong defense. I'd still try to hug the outside here to try to stay ahead, but as I said, with these hearts, it's difficult. Coming to lap 26, I nearly ram into him, but I also decided I wasn't fair of me, and I decided to give him back the position. Low on ERS, not really looking good for me. My last chance was here onto the straight using Almo overtake and DRS, and I think he had a lot of ERS to play with, but yeah, I don't know why I glitched out there. Coming to lap 27, we were P3 on the line. People behind me having a lot more penalties, but the McLaren behind, who did not have any penalties, does end up jumping me by quite a significant margin. Going over the race, I was pretty happy with the race, to be honest. Although there was a lot of things that I could have potentially done better, I think I did extract the maximum out of the car. And given the strategy I was put in, given how disadvantaged that 5-second penalty put, I think going to the next race, I would be much more careful about such small mistakes, and hopefully I can come back much stronger in Austria, which is the next round. We have a break coming in, and hopefully that's going to be a much more exciting race for you guys. Yep. See you guys, and hope you enjoyed the video. See you in Austria.